Blind Yogi on YouTube. I am the Blind Yogi. My name is Jacqueline, and I will be your instructor. So for today's class, we're going to do a gentle flow class, and I love to use props, our yoga props. So we have our strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel. That's fine. That'll work. We have a block. We have a yoga blanket, and we have a bolster. And you can substitute any of these props for whatever you have in your home, or not use any props at all. It's up to you. So we're going to go ahead and stand up and come to the top of our mat, coming into mountain pose, bringing our big toes to touch, inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Shifting your weight forward, lifting your heels slightly off the mat, and then shifting your weight back and lifting up your toes, spreading them wide, and placing them down one by one on the mat. Feeling all four corners of your feet rooted to your mat, tucking in your tailbone, spreading your collarbone wide, slight tuck in your chin, lengthening through the back of your neck, standing tall and proud in your mountain pose. Breathing here, in and out through your nose. Bringing your hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Allowing your eyes to close if you wish. Setting your intention for today's class. And then allowing your eyes to open. Inhaling your arms up over your head, palms touch, lengthening through your side bodies, tucking your chin slightly, lengthening through the back of your neck. Lifting up through your rib cage, rooting into all four corners of your feet, lengthening your body tall. Interlacing your fingers and extending your index finger. Bringing your biceps back by your ears. Inhaling tall, and then tipping over to the right side. Reaching your index fingers to where the wall meets the ceiling. Lengthening through your left side body, rooting your left foot into your mat as you lift up, lengthening, lifting up through your left rib cage. Lengthening as you inhale and as you exhale, tipping deeper. On your next inhalation, coming back to neutral. Lengthening through both side bodies and then tipping over to the left side. Pressing your right foot into your mat as you lengthen through your right rib cage. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose, reaching your index finger to where the ceiling meets the wall. Lengthening on the inhalation and deepening on the exhalation. On your next inhalation, coming back to neutral, releasing your palms, arms down by your side, shaking it all out. Once again, we're going to inhale our arms up overhead and swan dive forward, reaching for the floor. Inhale, bringing your palms to your shins, lengthening your spine long. And exhale as you fold forward. Stepping back with your right foot, coming into a low lunge. Hands frame your front foot, allowing your hips to sink down. Breathing here. Pressing back through your back heel. And then allowing your back knee to come to the mat. Untucking your toes and allow your front knee to move over your front toes. Feeling a nice stretch in your right hip flexor. And then feel free to stay here if you like, bringing your hands to your knees. Feeling a nice stretch in your hip flexor here. Pressing into the top of your back foot. This is a balancing posture here. And if you'd like to, sweeping your arms up overhead. Rotating your pinkies in toward one another. Lengthening through the back of your neck. And if you'd like to take this into a slight back bend, interlacing your hands, flipping your palms over, lengthening through the side bodies and taking a nice back bend here. Releasing your hands and bringing them to frame the front foot once again. Tucking your back toes under, lifting your back knee off the mat, stepping your right foot up to meet the left, coming into a forward fold once again, and just shaking out your head, nodding your head no, shaking your head yes, just releasing any tension that you feel here in your cervical spine. Making tiny little fists with your hands and allowing them to sit in the crooks of your elbows. And just allowing the crown of your head to move toward the earth. Swaying from side to side if you wish. And then coming back to stillness, releasing your fingertips all the way down toward the floor. And then stepping back with your left foot, coming into low lunge on the other side, pressing through the back of your left heel, breathing here. Your gaze is just beyond your mat. Breathing here. Pressing through your back heel, lengthening through your left leg. Allowing your left knee to come to the mat, untucking your toes, allowing your hips to sink, allow your front knee to come over your front toes. Feel free to stay here, or if you'd wish, bringing your hands to your knee. Remembering your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling a nice stretch in your hip flexor and just noticing the difference on this side as opposed to the other side and just honoring that difference. Feel free to stay here or sweeping your arms up overhead, pinkies slightly turned in toward one another. Breathing here, pressing into the top of your back foot. Taking a slight back bend here if you wish, and unlacing your hands, flipping your palms over, gazing up at the sky, and releasing your hands back to the mat. Tucking your back toes under, lifting your knee off the mat, stepping your right foot back to meet the left, coming into a plank position, engaging your core. Your modification here, you can bring your knees down to the mat, continuing to energetically bring your palms towards your knees and vice versa, engaging your core. If you're in full plank, bringing your knees down to the mat, opening your knees wide and pressing yourself back into child's pose, bringing your sit bones towards your heels, tucking your chin and bringing your forehead to the mat. Child's pose is a great resting pose. If you feel you need a rest during this class, you can always come into child's pose. That's always an option for you. Pressing yourself out of child's pose, coming into a tabletop position. Spreading your fingers wide on your mat. Shoulders are right above the wrists, hips are right above the knees. Preparing for our cat-cow. As you inhale, your belly button drops. Your chest opens, your gaze lifts. And as you exhale, you round your back, tucking your chin to your chest and pushing away from your hands. Inhaling, belly drops, chest opens, gaze lifts. Exhale, tuck everything under, like a Halloween cat, arching your back. Inhaling, gaze lifts, and exhale. And in this posture, as we move in and out of this posture, we allow our breath to guide our movement. So just allow your own breath to guide your movement. However slow you would like to go, set your own pace. This is your practice. you are. And then returning to a neutral spine in tabletop position. Stepping back with your right foot, pressing the ball of your right foot into your mat and pressing away from your hands, giving yourself a nice calf stretch here, letting your head just hang, chin to your chest, no strain in the neck. Inhale, lifting your right leg up behind you, flexing your foot, toes pointed down toward the mat, and crossing your right foot over your body, allowing your toes to touch down to the floor, and then gazing back, looking at your right foot, creating a C shape in your spine, feeling a nice stretch on the right side body. And then returning back to neutral, right leg extends back behind you, off the mat, pressing through your heel. Lifting slightly higher, pressing into each finger pad, and then releasing your right leg back down to the mat. Going to do the same thing on the other side, stepping back with your left foot, pressing the ball of your left foot into your mat, and pressing away from your hands, giving your calf a nice stretch here, allowing your head to hang, visualizing a grape on a stem, just allowing your head to hang, and feel free to shake your head no and nod your head yes, releasing any tension that you feel in your cervical spine. Inhale, sweeping your left leg up behind you. Left foot is flexed, toes are pointed down toward the mat. Breathing here in this balancing pose. And then crossing your left leg over your body behind you, allowing your toes to come down to the floor, and turning to your right, gazing back at your toes, creating a C shape in your spine, feeling a nice stretch in your left side body. Breathing here, turning back to the front of your mat, lifting your left leg straight back behind you, left foot is flexed. Lifting your left leg slightly higher, pressing into your finger pads, pressing in to your index finger, your thumb, lifting your left leg slightly higher, and then allow your left knee to come back down to the mat, bringing your big toes together, opening your knees wide, and pressing yourself back into your child's pose. Now, when you're in your child's pose, you have an option. You can rotate your thumbs to the outside, pressing the backs of your hands into your mat, keeping your forehead on the mat. And this just allows your back to broaden. Feeling a stretch in a slightly different place here. And then rotating your thumbs back toward one another and pressing yourself out of your child's pose. Coming into our first down dog here. Tucking your toes under and sending your hips up toward the sky. Pedaling your feet out. Pressing into the base of your index finger and thumb. Inhaling, lifting yourself onto the balls of your feet, and then as you exhale, sinking your heels down toward the mat, melting your forehead towards your shins, breathing here. Inhale your right leg up behind you and stepping it in between your hands, coming back into your low lunge. Bringing both hands to the inside of your front leg, and rotating your toes toward the right, toward the long side of your mat, coming into our lizard pose. Allowing your hips to sink down toward the mat. pressing into each finger pad. And feel free to allow your right foot to roll over onto its outside edge, opening up through your right hip, bringing your left knee down to the mat, untucking your toes, breathing here. Feel free to stay here. If you'd like to move deeper into this pose, you can use your block. You can bring your forearms down onto a block, breathing here, or if your hips feel super open today, you can bring your forearms all the way down to your mat. Breathing here. Feel free to stay here, or if you'd like to add a quad stretch, pressing yourself back up to your palms, removing your block if you've used one, bending up your left leg behind you, planting your left palm into your mat, and then reaching back behind you to grab your foot on its outside edge, pressing the top of your foot into your hand, opening up through your right shoulder as you rotate your chest back toward the front of your mat. And if you're not here yet, that's okay. Yoga is a practice. You'll get there one day. Continuing to breathe here, pressing the top of your thigh into your mat. Releasing your back foot behind you, bringing both hands to the inside of your front leg, tucking your left toes under, lifting your knee off the mat, and stepping back, pressing yourself into down dog. Feel free to come into child's pose if you wish. And then if you're in child's pose, coming into down dog, sweeping your left leg up behind you and stepping it in between your hands, coming into low lunge here, bringing both hands to the inside of your front leg, and toe heel your left foot out to the side slightly, and then rotating your toes toward the long side of your mat. So coming into lizard on the other side, allowing your hips to sink down. Allow your right knee to come to the mat if you wish, untucking your toes, and feel free to stay here, or if you can, coming down to your forearms onto a block or all the way down to your mat, allowing your left foot to roll over onto its outside edge. Breathing here. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to incorporate a quad stretch here, pressing back up to your palms, planting your right palm into your mat, spreading your fingers wide, bending up your right leg, and reaching to the outside edge of your back foot, allowing the top of your foot to press into your hand as you open up through your left shoulder, rotating your chest back toward the front of your mat, and guiding your heel towards your sit bones. continuing to breathe here. Always returning to your breath if your mind begins to wander. Releasing your foot, bringing both hands to the inside of your front leg, tucking your back toes under, framing your front foot once again, and stepping your right foot up to meet the left, coming into your forward fold. Shaking your head no, nodding your head yes, releasing any tension that you feel in your cervical spine. Moving into gorilla pose. Bringing your hands underneath your feet, toes come all the way up to your wrist crease. Stepping on one hand and then the other. If you feel unbalanced in this pose, you can do yogi toe hold, bringing your index finger and thumb around your big toe. So you have two options there. Inhaling, straightening your legs, and as you exhale, folding forward, elbows bend out to the side, bringing your forehead towards your shins, allowing your sit bones to spread. Using your breath once again on the inhale, straight arms, straight legs, and exhale, folding deeper, elbows bend out to the side. Once again, inhale, and exhale, bending forward. Releasing your hands from your feet. Bringing your palms to your shins, lengthening your spine. Bringing your hands to your hips, and with a flat back, coming all the way up to standing. Stepping forward to the front of your mat if you've moved back slightly. Coming once again into mountain pose, bringing your big toes to touch. Slight space in your heels, about the size of a quarter. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Interlacing your hands behind you. Opening your chest, pressing your knuckles down toward the mat. Taking a slight back bend here, bringing your gaze up toward the sky, allowing your chest to open up. Coming back to neutral spine, releasing your grasp, and stepping wide on your mat, stepping to the outside edges, and slightly rotating your toes about 45 degrees. Coming into yogi squat, bending your knees here, bringing your palms together at heart center, and pressing your elbows into your inner thighs, opening up through your hips. Spine is vertical. Breathing here. Placing your palms down on your mat, straightening your legs, forward fold once again. And then bending your knees and coming to sit on your mat. Finding your strap, or if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel. And we're going to stretch out the backs of our legs. I always have really tight hamstrings, so I love this pose here. Coming to lie flat on your back, soles of your feet touching the mat, knees are bent, pointed toward the sky. Taking your strap or your towel and placing it around the ball of your right foot. Extending your right foot up toward the sky. And bringing the backs of your arms on either side of your rib cage. Strap is in each hand, pressing through your right foot, using your strap to guide your toes towards you. Continuing to breathe here. And when you feel like you've created enough length in the back of your right leg, feel free to grow your left leg long. Continuing to stay active through both feet stay flexed. Pressing into the back of your left leg as you lengthen through the right leg, rotating your big right toe in the direction of your right shoulder. Continuing to breathe. Bringing both straps to one hand, we're going to prepare to open out to the right side. Inhale, lengthening through your right leg, and as you exhale, open up your right leg, rotating your toes down toward the earth, and if you can, bringing your left hand to your left hip bone, and really try to keep your left hip bone rooted down to your mat. If you notice that your left hip starts to lift off the mat, don't open up your right leg so wide. Keeping your left hip bone rooted to the mat, using your strap, bringing your right toes towards your right shoulder, pressing through the inner arch of your right foot, and turning your gaze to your left. I don't know why, but this somehow helps me to keep my left hip bone rooted to the mat. Continuing to stay active through your left leg, using your strap to open up through your groin. Continuing to breathe, sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel. On your next inhale, bringing your right leg back to neutral, switching the straps in the other hand. Lengthening through your right leg, and then crossing your right leg over your body, just enough so that your big toe hovers over your left hip bone. Tucking your chin slightly to lengthen through the back of your neck, and continuing to press into your left leg as you lengthen through the right. Using your strap to guide your toes towards your left shoulder, and sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel in your body. Keeping your strap in your hand, allow your right leg to cross totally over your body, rolling onto your left side, and then allowing your right shoulder to move back toward the earth, extending your arm out from your shoulder, gazing at your right palm, and using your strap to lengthen through your right leg. Taking this twist here. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to deepen into your twist. Turning your gaze back up toward the ceiling. Inhale. Bringing your right leg back to neutral, taking the strap in each hand once again, bringing the backs of your arms to either side of your rib cage, pressing into the mat, using your strap to bring your toes towards your face, pressing into the back of your left leg, lengthening through your right leg. Breathing here. And then on your next exhalation, allowing your right leg to float back down to the mat. Releasing the strap, bringing it to the ball of your left foot, bending up your right leg, sole of the foot, pressing into the mat, knee pointed toward the sky, and then sending your left foot up towards the sky. Bringing the backs of your arms to either side of your rib cage, pressing through your left heel, pressing into your right foot as you lengthen through the back of your left leg. Slight tuck in the chin, lengthening through the back of your neck. Breathing here. Sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel. And when you feel that you've created enough length in the back of your left leg, go ahead and grow your right leg long, flexing through your right foot, pressing into the back of your right leg to lengthen through the left, and then rotating your big left toe in the direction of your left shoulder. Getting a stretch in a slightly different way here. Breathing here. Bringing both straps to one hand, preparing to open out to the left-hand side. If you'd like, placing your right palm on your right hip bone and opening out to the left, rotating your toes down toward the floor and using your strap to guide your left toes towards your left shoulder. Turning your gaze to the right if you wish. It helps me to keep my right hip bone rooted to my mat. Pressing through the inner arch of my left foot. Staying flexed through your right foot. Breathing here. Turning your gaze back toward the ceiling. Taking a deep inhale, and on the exhalation, bringing your left foot back to neutral. Switching the strap in the other hand, lengthening through the left leg, and then on the exhale, crossing your left leg slightly over your body so that your big toe hovers over your right hip bone. Using the strap to bring your toes towards you. Lengthening through the back of your left leg, pressing into your right leg. Sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel in your body. And when you're ready, allowing your left leg to cross over your body, rolling onto your right side, and then allowing your left shoulder to move back toward the earth, extending your left hand out from your shoulder, turning your gaze to your left palm, and using your strap to bring your left foot towards your right shoulder, getting a nice stretch in the outside thigh, IT band, taking a nice gentle twist here. continuing to breathe here, in and out through your nose. Turning your gaze back toward the ceiling, and then bringing your left foot back to neutral, taking one strap in each hand, bringing the backs of your arms to either side of your rib cage, pressing into the back of your right leg, and using your strap to guide your toes towards you. Noticing the length that you've created in the back of your left leg. Breathing here. Taking a deep inhale as you lengthen, and on the exhale, allow your left leg slowly float back down to the mat. Releasing your strap, placing it off to the side. Bending your knees. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, wrapping your forearms around your knees, bringing your head and shoulders off the mat, tucking your chin, coming into a tight ball. Pressing your shins into your forearms, and then keeping your knees towards your chest, releasing your head and shoulders back down to the mat, interlacing your hands over your right shin, and extending your left leg long, coming into Uttanasana, allowing your left leg to come all the way down to the mat, and avoiding your rib cage, guiding your right knee towards your right armpit, continuing to stay flexed through both feet. As you inhale, pressing your shin in towards your palms, and as you exhale, guiding your right knee towards your right armpit. Inhale, pressing your shin into your palms, and on the exhale, crossing your right leg over your body, rolling onto your left side, and then allowing your right shoulder to move back toward the mat, extending your right arm out from your shoulder. Taking this twist here, allow your left palm to sit on the outside of your right leg. As your shoulder moves toward the mat, your right knee moves toward the floor. Taking a twist here, inhale, lengthening your spine, and on the exhale, twisting deeper into your pose. Your right palm is facing the ceiling, opening up through your right shoulder. And on your next exhale, rolling onto your back, interlacing your fingers over your right shin, flexing through both feet, bringing your right shin towards your right armpit. And then as you exhale, releasing your right leg long on your mat. Inhaling your left knee in towards your chest, interlacing your fingers over your shin. Avoiding your rib cage, guiding your left knee towards your left armpit. Staying flexed through both feet. Slight tucking your chin to lengthen through the back of the neck. Inhale, pressing your shin in towards your palms, and as you exhale, guiding your left knee towards your left armpit. Lengthening through your right leg, growing your right leg as long as you can. Continuing to use your breath to guide you through this movement. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to deepen. Pressing your shin into your palms on your inhalation, and this time, when you exhale, crossing your left leg over your body, coming all the way onto your right side, and then allowing your left shoulder to move back toward the mat, extending your left hand out from your shoulder, and turning to gaze at your left palm. Keeping your right hand on the outside of your left leg, lengthening as you inhale, and as you exhale, twisting deeper into this pose, allowing your left shoulder to move toward the mat and allowing your left knee to move toward the floor in an opposite direction. Taking a deep inhale to lengthen. On the exhale, rolling onto your back, interlacing your hands once again over your left shin. Inhale, pressing your shin into your palms, and as you exhale, guiding your left knee towards your left armpit, flexing through both feet. Chin is slightly tucked. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose. And on your exhale, releasing your left leg, allowing it to be long on your mat. Bringing the soles of your feet to your mat, preparing for our figure four. Bringing the outside of your right ankle to the top of your left thigh, coming into a figure four pose, staying flexed through your right foot, and bringing the heel of your right hand to your right hip crease. Tucking your pelvis slightly, pressing into your left foot, and pressing your palm into your inner thigh, creating space in your right hip. Breathing here. And if you notice that your right knee is kind of creeping in towards you, try to press it out away from you. Trying to keep your shin parallel. Sliding your right palm up your inner thigh towards your knee and just pressing gently, pressing your knee away from you. Releasing your hands, and then bringing your figure four in towards your chest, interlacing your hands behind your left thigh, and pressing your right elbow into your right inner thigh, just allowing your lower leg to hang loose on the left side while staying flexed through your right foot. And feel free to sort of sway side to side in this pose if this feels good for you. Creating a little movement here. bringing your body to stillness. Feel free to stay here, or if you'd like to deepen this pose, interlacing your hands over your left shin. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose, sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel here. Taking a deep inhale as you lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, releasing your left leg, allowing the sole of your left foot to move back toward the earth, and then crossing your right leg over your left so that your thighs touch. Inhaling your knees in toward your chest, and grabbing a hold of either your feet or your ankles, and guiding your feet to the outside of your hips. Lengthening through the back of your neck. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. My little dog Bear is having a dream, if you can hear him making noises in his dreams. I wish I could be like Bear. I could sleep anywhere. Continuing to inhale and exhale through your nose. Taking a deep inhale, lengthening. And on the exhale, releasing your feet. Uncrossing your legs. Toe heeling your feet out to the edges of your mat, allowing your knees to fall in toward one another. Bringing your arms into a low T, palms facing the floor, and then allow both knees to fall over to the right side. Pressing through your left hip bone. Turning your gaze to the left. And if you'd like to deepen this stretch, bringing the outside of your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Pressing through your left hip bone to protect your lower back, staying flexed through both feet. And if you feel any twinges in your back or your knee in this position, release your right foot back down to the floor. And if you haven't done so already, releasing your right foot back down to the floor, bringing your gaze toward the ceiling, and bringing both knees back up to neutral, allowing your knees to fall in toward one another. Toe heeling your feet back toward one another, preparing for our figure four on the other side, bringing the outside of your left foot to the top of your right thigh, bringing the heel of your hand to your left hip crease, pressing into your right foot, pressing your palm into your left hip crease, and creating space in your left hip. Breathing here. Allowing your left hand to slide up your inner thigh and just press into your inner thigh, pressing your knee away from you. Opening up through your left hip. Releasing your left hand And then bringing your figure four in towards you, interlacing your hands behind your right thigh, pressing your left elbow into your left inner thigh, and just bringing your figure four in towards your chest, staying flexed through your left foot, and allowing your lower right leg to just hang loose. Breathing here, sending your breath to any tight spaces that you feel. Feel free to begin to move in this pose, begin to rock from side to side if that feels good for you today. Bringing your body back to stillness. Feel free to stay here if you'd like to deepen your pose, interlacing your hands over your right shin. And bringing your figure four in towards your chest. Breathing here. Staying flexed through your left foot. Lengthening as you inhale and coming deeper into your pose when you exhale. One more time, inhale as you lengthen, and as you exhale, releasing your right foot back down to the mat, crossing your left leg over your right so that your thighs touch. Squeezing your thighs in toward one another and bringing your knees in towards your chest. Finding your ankles or your feet and guiding them to the outside of your hips. Tucking your chin slightly to lengthen through the back of your neck. Breathing here, lengthening through your spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, guiding your feet deeper towards you, toward the outside of your hips, feeling a nice stretch here in this pose. Taking one more inhale as you lengthen, and as you exhale, releasing your feet back toward the mat, uncrossing your legs, toe heeling your feet out toward the outside edges of your mat, allowing your knees to fall in toward one another, bringing your arms into a low T, either palms facing down or facing up, whatever feels good for you, and allowing both knees to fall over to your left side. Turning your gaze to your right and pressing through your right hip, protecting your lower back. Breathing here. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, bringing the outside of your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Pressing through your right hip. Breathing here. With every exhalation, sinking deeper into your mat. Releasing your left foot back down to the mat. Turning your gaze back up toward the ceiling and bringing your knees back up to neutral, allowing both knees to fall in toward one another. Toe heeling your feet back toward one another. Inhaling your knees in towards your chest, wrapping your forearms around your shins, lifting your head and shoulders off the mat, tucking your chin, pressing your shins into your forearms, coming into a tight ball here. Releasing your head and shoulders back to the mat, bringing your hands behind your thighs, and rolling up to a comfortable seated position. If you have a blanket or a towel, feel free to place that under your sit bones. It sometimes feels more comfortable to have your hips elevated. Helps us to sit up taller and straighter without having to work so hard. Inhaling your shoulders up by your ears and relaxing them down your back. Bringing your chin to your chest. Interlacing your hands behind your head. And without pressing your palms into the back of your head, just allow the weight of your hands to stretch the back of your neck. On your next inhale, lifting your gaze up towards the sky, opening your elbows wide. And on your exhale, tucking your chin once again to your chest, allowing your elbows to move in toward one another, stretching the back of your neck. Inhale, gaze lifts, elbows open, chest opens. And exhale, elbows in toward one another. Last time, inhale, gaze lifts, chest opens, elbows wide. And exhale, chin to your chest, elbows move toward one another. Releasing your hands back down to your legs, keeping your chin tucked. And allow your right ear to move towards your right shoulder. Allow your right hand to just rest gently on your head, extending your left arm long by your side, flexing through your palm, pressing through the heel of your hand, giving your neck a nice stretch here. Turning your chin towards your right shoulder. And then releasing your right hand, bringing your chin back to your chest, and allow your left ear to move towards your left shoulder, bringing your left hand to rest gently on your head, straightening your right arm long by your side, flexing through your right palm. Turning your chin towards your left shoulder. Breathing here, lengthening through the side of your neck. We're always hunched over our computers or our iPhones, so it's nice to get a deep neck stretch here. Releasing your left hand from your head, bringing your chin back to your chest once again. Taking a deep breath. And on your next inhale, bringing your gaze back to neutral. Bringing your right foot to the top of your left thigh. We're going to give ourselves some foot love today. Interlacing your fingers between each toe, really getting down to the webbing here. Expanding and contracting your fingers as you create space between each toe, helping with balance, with posture, and pulling your toes towards you and pressing them away, circling them around. Just doing whatever your feet need for you to do today. And when you're ready, popping your fingers out, and with a loose fist, gently tapping the bottom of your foot. Coming to stillness, and holding your right leg like you would a little baby, like when you rock a little baby. And you can either bring your foot and your knee in your hands, or if you feel like your hips are loose tonight, you can bring your foot and knee into your hip crease, interlacing your hands, and just gently rocking from side to side. Opening up through your right hip, pressing into your sit bones, sitting up tall. And releasing your leg. Coming into a staggered position, bringing your right leg back behind you, planting your left palm onto the floor or mat, and inhaling your right arm up overhead, flipping your palm up towards the sky, lengthening through your side body, and rotating your right palm down toward the floor, your thumb pointed back behind you, opening up through your chest, pressing into your left palm to lift out of your left shoulder, and then releasing back down to the mat. Coming to the other side, bringing your left foot on top of your right thigh, giving a little foot love on the other side, interlacing your fingers between each toe, really getting down to the webbing here. Expanding and contracting your fingers in between your toes, creating space in each toe. Our feet do so much for us. They carry us around all day, every day, running from here to there. So it's nice to give our feet a little attention tonight. And pull your toes towards you and press them away and circle them around. Whatever feels good for you today. When you're ready, popping your fingers out, and with a loose fist, gently tapping the bottom of your foot. Coming to stillness, and either grabbing your foot and your knee in your hand, or placing your foot and knee in the crooks of your elbows, interlacing your fingers, and gently rocking side to side as if you're rocking a little baby. Opening up through your left hip. And then coming to stillness, releasing your left leg, coming into a staggered position, bringing your left leg behind you, planting your right palm down on the floor or the mat, and lifting up, reaching your left arm up overhead, palm facing up towards the sky, lengthening through your left side body. gazing down at your right hand or up at your left hand, and then rotating your left palm so that it faces down toward the floor, and opening up through your left shoulder, bringing your left thumb back behind you, opening through your left shoulder, pressing into your right palm to lift out of your right shoulder. And then releasing all the way back down, coming into a nice, comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands together at heart center. Thank you for joining me in our Blind Yogi YouTube session. I hope you enjoyed this class. You can contact me at blindyogi@gmail.com with any questions or feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your practice today, bringing your thumb knuckle to your third eye center. The best in me bows to the best in all of you. Namaste.